We often find ourselves entangled in relationships, grasping at feelings that once were, haunted by the pain of loss. But when we rely on someone else to return to us, it is not them we are truly seeking, it is control. A control that slips through our fingers because we surrender to our own destructive emotions. In the depths of our sorrow, we forget that no person, no external force, can ever truly give us what we seek. It is not about her. It is about you. And the moment you realize this is the moment she will come crawling back, not to a weak, broken version of yourself, but to the fortress you have become. The heart of the Stoic mindset. At the core of Stoicism lies a fundamental truth: everything external to us, people, events, circumstances, is beyond our control. What we can control is our mind and how we respond to the world. This distinction is crucial because so often we find ourselves consumed by things we cannot change, like the actions of others, particularly in relationships. When a woman walks out of your life, the immediate reaction is to feel devastated, betrayed, perhaps even powerless. We scramble to get her back, trying to fix what we believe is broken. But in doing so, we miss the essential lesson that Stoicism teaches: the only thing truly broken is our internal response to this event. To embrace the heart of the Stoic mindset is to understand that our happiness, our peace of mind, is not dependent on whether she returns or not. The return is irrelevant. What matters is whether we can maintain our composure, our dignity, our sense of self-worth in the face of her absence. The Stoic, when confronted with loss, asks not, "How do I get her back?" but rather, "How can I become stronger, more resilient, and unshakable?" This shift in perspective is the key to reclaiming power, not over her or the relationship, but over your own life. Consider Epictetus's wisdom: don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will go on well. The Stoic heart does not seek to manipulate or wish for what cannot be changed, it adapts. It understands that peace comes from acceptance, and in this acceptance lies an indomitable strength. In essence, the true heart of Stoicism is mastery over the self. When you become indifferent to the outcome, whether she returns or not, you have already won. Your goal is not to reclaim her, your goal is to reclaim yourself. The power of indifference. The Stoic concept of apatheia, often translated as indifference, is not about coldness or emotional numbness. It is about cultivating an unshakable inner peace. Indifference, in this sense, is not apathy toward life, but rather a focused discipline of the mind that allows us to remain unbothered by things outside our control. When it comes to relationships, indifference means that you no longer place your worth or emotional stability in the hands of another person. You rise above the need for external validation, including the return of someone who has left you. And this is where real power begins. Indifference sends a silent but profound message: I am whole, with or without you. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, teaches us this in Meditations: if you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment of them. And it is in your power to wipe out that judgment now. This is the essence of Stoic indifference. It is not that we do not care, it is that we refuse to let that care control us. We strip away the destructive emotions, fear, neediness, desperation that cling to us when we fixate on someone else's actions. Imagine her seeing you again, expecting the same man she left, a man perhaps broken, pleading, consumed by the need to repair the relationship. Instead, she finds someone transformed. Indifference has made you stronger, more grounded, and emotionally untouchable. This doesn't mean you lack love or compassion, it means that you have mastered the art of not needing. Seneca wrote, "A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he is not." When you cultivate this level of indifference, you project an aura of self-sufficiency that is irresistibly attractive. People, by nature, are drawn to those who do not depend on them for happiness. By letting go of your attachment to the outcome, whether she comes back or not, you achieve a sense of freedom that few ever reach. When you become indifferent to her return, you give yourself the ultimate gift: peace of mind. You are no longer a slave to the whims of someone else's decisions. You are in control. She may come back, but the truth is, by then, it will not matter to you in the way it once did. Indifference has freed you from the emotional chains that once bound you. In the end, indifference is not about being cold, it is about reclaiming your autonomy. It is the ultimate act of power and self-respect. And once you embody this power, the world bends to your will not because you force it to, but because you are now aligned with the Stoic truth that nothing outside of you can disturb your peace. Let her return, or let her remain where she is. In either case, you have already won, for you have mastered yourself. Overcoming destructive emotions. Destructive emotions, anger, jealousy, fear, longing are the chains that keep us bound, not only to others but to our own suffering. When we lose someone, such emotions tend to surface in a tidal wave, overwhelming our reason and clarity. Yet, as Stoics, we understand that these emotions are not realities we must submit to, but obstacles we are called to overcome. The Stoics believed that these emotions, far from being unavoidable, are choices of the mind. They arise because we allow our judgments to be distorted by external circumstances, rather than staying rooted in our internal strength. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters in the moment of emotional pain." It is easy to believe that the feeling of loss is something happening to you, something external and uncontrollable. But this is a misinterpretation. The pain you feel isn't because she left, but because you have judged her departure as a source of pain. The Stoic challenge is to change that judgment. To overcome these destructive emotions, we must first confront them. We don't run from anger or jealousy, we face them head-on, observing their origins. Ask yourself, why am I jealous? Why am I angry? You will find that the source of these emotions is often fear, the fear of being alone, the fear of not being enough, the fear of losing control. But these fears are illusions. They are stories we tell ourselves, not truths we must accept. Seneca offers a path out of this emotional chaos when he says, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." You are arranging what is in fortune's control and abandoning what lies in yours. The idea here is that much of our emotional turmoil comes from clinging to what we cannot control. By fixating on whether or not she will come back, by attaching our self-worth to that outcome, we hand over our peace of mind to the whims of fate. But once we recognize that these emotions are born of misplaced focus, we regain the power to shift our attention inward, where real control lies. Overcoming destructive emotions, therefore, is not a battle to suppress them, but an opportunity to transform them. When you redirect your focus from external outcomes to internal mastery, you free yourself from their grasp. The emotions may still exist, they are human, after all, but they no longer control you. You control them. And in that control, you find a profound strength that not only heals you but redefines the way others see you. Building the fortress within. The Stoic journey is not about building walls to shut out the world, but about constructing an unbreakable fortress within yourself, a place of strength, resilience, and peace that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. When we speak of building this fortress, we mean creating a version of yourself that is impervious to the shifting tides of life, including the actions of others. This inner fortification is built through discipline, self-awareness, and unwavering commitment to your own growth. Marcus Aurelius captured the essence of this when he wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your mind is the foundation of this fortress, and its walls are made from the mastery of your own thoughts and emotions." Each time you resist the urge to act out of desperation, each time you pause before reacting to anger or sadness, you lay another stone in the construction of this inner stronghold. The Stoics saw life as a constant training ground for fortitude. Adversity, including heartbreak, is not something to fear or avoid, but to welcome as a teacher. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Every emotional challenge you face is an opportunity to strengthen the walls of your fortress. Instead of viewing her departure as a tragedy, view it as a gift and opportunity to reinforce your resilience, to practice indifference, and to test your ability to remain calm in the storm. But building this fortress is not about cutting yourself off from the world or becoming emotionally detached. It is about creating an inner world so strong, so self-sufficient, that you are never reliant on the external for your peace of mind. Imagine a castle standing tall on a hill. No matter how fierce the wind blows or how hard the rain falls, the structure remains unshaken. The storms rage around it, but inside there is calm. This is what you must become. Building the fortress within is a daily practice. It requires you to take responsibility for your thoughts and actions, to confront your weaknesses, and to consistently choose strength over despair, self-discipline over indulgence. The Stoic does not wait for external validation or reassurance. He creates his own sense of worth and carries it with him, unaffected by the opinions or actions of others. In this way, the fortress becomes a beacon of inner power. Others, including the one who left, will see the change in you. Not because you have chased them or sought their approval, but because you have become something greater than what you were before. This transformation is magnetic. People are drawn to strength, to self-assurance, to someone who is unshaken by the trials of life. However, it's important to remember that building this fortress is not for her, it is for you. When you reach the point where her return is no longer your focus, when you are content in your own strength, whether she comes back or not, you will have built something unbreakable. You will have built yourself. And this, my friend, is the true goal of the Stoic, to live with such mastery over the self that no storm, no person, no loss can ever tear you down. You have become the fortress. The final realization. The final realization on this Stoic journey is one of liberation, true, unshakable freedom. It's the point where you grasp that everything you've been chasing, everything you thought you needed to feel complete, was never external. The woman who left, the desire to have her back, the sense of loss, it was all a misunderstanding of where true contentment lies. This realization is both profound and simple. You don't need her to come back. You don't need anyone to complete you. You already possess everything within yourself. This is not just an intellectual understanding, but a deep inner awakening. You come to realize that happiness, fulfillment, and peace are internal states that are not dependent on the presence or absence of someone else. This is the culmination of the Stoic mindset, the acceptance that the only thing you can control is your own mind and reactions. As long as you cling to the belief that your happiness is tied to her return, you are a prisoner of your own mind. But the moment you realize that your peace lies entirely within your own grasp, you break free from that prison. Marcus Aurelius in Meditations gives us one of the clearest insights into this final realization. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. It is not external events, nor the actions of others, that determine whether you live in misery or joy. It is the way you interpret and respond to those events. When you truly internalize this, the need for someone else to come crawling back evaporates. You understand that your value, your sense of purpose, is not tied to whether or not they return, but rather to the person you have become through this process. This realization doesn't mean you won't feel pain or sorrow. That's part of being human. But it does mean that you'll no longer allow those feelings to control or define you. You've done the work. You've overcome the destructive emotions, mastered indifference, and built the fortress within. Now, in this final stage, you achieve what the Stoics sought all along: eudaimonia, or a life of flourishing through virtue. You are no longer swayed by the comings and goings of others, because your inner peace is rooted in something much deeper: your own mind, your own strength. Seneca reminds us, no man is free who is not master of himself. In this final realization, you have become that master. You no longer need to manipulate or control external outcomes to feel secure. You no longer crave her return because you have everything you need within you. You are free from attachment, from the chains of neediness, from the idea that your happiness is contingent on anyone else. This is the true power that Stoicism offers. It is not about her or about getting someone back. It's about reclaiming the freedom to live your life, to grow, to become a better, stronger version of yourself, independent of what others do. And paradoxically, in reaching this final realization, the world tends to bend in your favor. By embodying self-sufficiency, by radiating the calm and quiet confidence that comes from true inner strength, you become magnetic. Not just to her, but to others around you. But by then, it won't matter whether she comes back or not. You've already won. The final realization, therefore, is the ultimate victory. It's the recognition that no one has the power to break you unless you give them that power. Once you stop seeking validation or happiness from external sources, you find a reservoir of peace, strength, and contentment within. And this inner mastery, this unbreakable resolve, is what Stoicism has always been about. It's not about the return of someone else, but the return to yourself. This is where true freedom lies. The return is inevitable, but it's not what matters. The essence of Stoicism is to master the self, to break free from the destructive emotions that keep us enslaved to the actions of others. When you do this, when you build a life that thrives on your inner strength, the world around you will shift. She may come back, but by then, it will not matter. What will matter is that you have become the person you were always meant to be, a fortress of resolve, a beacon of self-mastery. This is the way of the Stoic. And this, my brothers, is the path we walk together. Before we close, remember that true mastery comes from consistent growth, just like Stoicism teaches us. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community focused on inner strength, self-mastery, and living with purpose. Together, we can continue to grow and conquer the challenges life throws our way. Thanks for being part of this journey.